Here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation Homebrew news and much, much more. So the first update today is going to be for the PlayStation 5, and that is that we got a brand new update from Sony, which bumps us up to version 13.00. Now, what we saw that came out of that was that they've enhanced PSSR, which is the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, that's only available over there on the PlayStation 5. Also, support for Unicode 17.0 emojis, a few new features added into the Welcome Hub, and then they state that we've improved the messages and usability, as well as system software performance and stability. Now, the obvious thing to call out here is that there is no sort of message of improving the security of the system, which we all know that just a few days ago, there was Lua Core 2.1, which came out. And obviously with this, you could get a userland exploit. Now, what we do know is that with 13.00, folks have already tried the latest Lua Core 2.1, and it is still working. So it looks like we still have a userland there that we can take advantage of. Now, it doesn't just stop here with a PlayStation 5 being updated, as we also had an update over here for the PlayStation 4. And this is going to bring us up to version 13.50. And on this one, the only thing that was approved was the messages and usability on some screens, which is obviously this one right here on the PlayStation 5. And we know that since this is a shared code base, obviously, PSSR isn't available on the PlayStation 4. It's kind of interesting that they didn't include the Unicode 17.0 emojis here, and obviously there's not a welcome hub on the PlayStation 4. But anyways, it looks like that is the only thing mentioned in this. Now again, there was not a mention of any sort of security fixes, so I'm sure by now you're all wondering, well, what happens if we run View on a 13.50 machine? Well, we've already seen the community doing so, and there was this post over here which says View RIP PS4 13.50, and they had the video here, which is about a 10-second clip, and you could see there was a padlock on that, and they go to System, they can see 13.50, but yeah, there's a little padlock there, and it will not run. Now, this was also mentioned over here by Dr. Yan Yan, and he confirmed that PS4 firmware update 13.50 was released, and that the PS View After Free userland is patched, and the app is currently locked here. So, to be honest with you, I totally expected them to patch that. Again, what I'm finding a bit interesting is that they didn't include their traditional, we've made some improvements to the security, a message that they've used here in the past. Now, again, it doesn't end with just the PlayStation 5 being updated or the PlayStation 4 being updated, but we also saw an update to the PlayStation 3. Yes, you heard me correct. We have a brand new update to the PlayStation 3, and this one is setting at version 4.93. And what it says down in here is that please note to play Blu-rays, your PS3 system needs a renewed Blu-ray player encryption key, and that please update your system to get the latest version. Now, this update really isn't too extraordinary, mainly because they had another update last year that was for the Blu-ray player, so it seems like this is still just a bit of maintenance. Now, obviously, if you are using a hen, just hold off on this until the pros come in and get this fixed up for you. So just like all my other guidance, my suggestion would be to wait on this one. Now, let's go ahead and flip over to some other really important news. Now, what we saw just a few days ago was a number of different people releasing a hypervisor exploit that they have for the PlayStation 5 that goes up to version 4.51. And so this one, again, is the one that most of us started looking at first, which was the PS5 53 code execution proof of concept. So again, shortly after we saw this one, Fell Overflow provided their project, which is called Prosperous And in this right here, they also just released all of the code. Now, what was a bit interesting about this one is that a lot of folks started digging around in this save folder right here, and I saw that inside of save, it says Lewis stuff as the commit message, but it has a readme, and it says, put the save from CUSA 00158 here. And well, what happened was a lot of people started taking this and started doing some searches over here with Google, and it didn't take very long before people started seeing that this game was called Don't Starve Console Edition. Now, this was the USA release of the game, and so with it being a digital edition, folks started looking around to see, hey, is there disc that we can buy? Obviously, there is disc that is available, so if you do go over to eBay and you search for Don't Starve Megapack PS4, you will see that there is already a bunch of sold listings, and for the most part, these are just right around, $60, $70. And if we just scroll down into this, I will say that if you are going to purchase one of these, and let me make a note here that I'm not saying that you should purchase one of these, but if you do, you would want to get the USA version. So this one we can see is the USA, and this one would be the PEGI rating, which you wouldn't want this version, you would want this one. Only if you are going by the CUSA 00158 title that they put in here. Now, one thing to note here is that this is about 5-year-old code. Now, the reason that this game, Don't Starve, is so interesting right now is that maybe for those of us that have the game disc, we might be able to play with this a little bit faster than everybody else since it is already been implemented. And then finally, to tee this off, there was also Flats, which released his hypervisor exploit.java, and this means that very, very, very soon, we should have a hypervisor exploit, at least for PlayStation 5s up to 4.51, that most of us will be able to start enjoying. Now, obviously, the Flow has stated that the method that the fell overflow had released, which I just showed you, he stated that this will allow my PS5 Linux to run on firmware less than 5.00. So we do know that those people that have those systems will not only be able to use the hypervisor, but will be able to run PS5 Linux. Now, one important thing to note here is that the Flow had submitted this pull request to add in support for the PlayStation 5 GPUs into the Mesa Foundation. And if you're wondering what that is, Mesa is a leading open source implementation of OpenGL Vulkan and other graphics APIs on Linux. So this is a really great thing that this has been merged into the final product, where you're not going to have to mess around in order to get the GPU function, and especially at those higher rates that we saw in his video. Next up, I did want to give an update on the video that I released just a little while ago, which seems to be doing exceptionally well at the moment. Inside of this, I stated that Garlic Saves was currently down. I've since gone ahead and revisited the Garlic Save site, and I can tell you that it is up and working right now, and we can see that right now there's at least 5 systems that's up and running, so you would be able to complete the suggestions that I provided you in this video if you head back over to the Garlic Saves website now. Now, one other thing that I did want to call out here is that there is this new beta feature, and it says Save Database. And if we click on this, you can see that we've got just a handful of saves that are currently available. And what's nice about these is that if I took one of these, let's just take a God of War Ragnarok. So this is for the PlayStation 4, and this gets us a new game plus, and I go to encrypt here. As you can see, I've already got a profile. I could simply click on that button and boom, download it, and it is going to be that easy in order to get a modified save onto your system. Now, there's this one which installs the View After Free from online. There is a Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster that gives you a few things. There's even one here for Star Wars Racer Revenge, which is already tied up with the Lua Core 2.1. So yeah, this is going to be a great thing for the community. So anyways, I think this is just a great little site. And again, you can contribute your own PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 to the system if you want to, and that would really help out the site. Next up, there was an update over here from Void Whisper, and we can see that this is Void Shell version 3.0. And if we look at the screenshot that he's attached here, and by the way, this is not out, I believe, at the moment, but you can see that there is some new features like remote play pairing, which has been added, and then also offline activation. Now, he states over here that now you can get one-click fake account activation if you want to do that. So anyways, looks like this is going to get better and better as the time goes. And there is a beta that is available that's out. So if you just want to go ahead and check out their page, you can at least get one of the betas that recently dropped. Next up, I do want to mention this Earth Onion project, which is called NP Account Restore. Basically, what it states here is that this will allow you to restore your PlayStation account configuration on a jailbroken PlayStation 4 or 5 from a console, which would be the PlayStation Network activated, writing the account configuration to the system registry. Now, there was an important message in here that says that this could corrupt your user. Do not use if you have data at risk of being lost, but all you need here is a console that is signed into the PlayStation Network and activated, and then a jailbroken target console, and just a way to send else, and you would be able to copy that over to your new console. Anyways, if you do check this out, let me know in the comments down below. And the last thing that I did want to mention is that with Lua Core 2.1 coming out, and obviously people enjoying that, I did have a video that I released that showed working with this on a 12.70. It gives you a user land, and I will say that if you're on 13.00, I would also suggest you just go ahead and look at this as well and see if this is a valuable option for you. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael